The TCP/IP reference model. TCP/IP is Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Now, this TCP/IP was not a model earlier. It was actually the protocols which was used in the grandparent of all wide area network, ARPANET. You know, ARPANET came, then the NSFNet came, then the ANSNet came, and now we have the internet. So the grandparents, you can call it, they were also using this. So ARPANET was a research network. It was sponsored by Department of Defense, and they have connected all the major universities, government installation, and they were using PSTN, that is the leased telephone lines. Now the major idea was what? That if anything breaks in between, still the communication should commence. So when this satellite and radio communications or radio networks were also added to this underlying backbone, there was a problem in the protocols. So at that time, the TCP/IP was not being used. Initially, it was all different kind of protocols being used. But when different satellite radio network came in, then the TCP/IP came. So there was a new reference architecture was developed, TCP/IP reference model. And this TCP/IP reference model has come from two primary protocols that were used in earlier internet, that is the Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. These two are different protocols being used, and they were so popular because of these two primary protocols. The reference model was named as TCP/IP reference model, right? So this TCP/IP came as a standardization of other protocols which were going on the internet. It was first described by Cerf and Khan, and then it was refined and defined as a standard by Braden, and the design philosophy of this reference model was given by Clark. Now, requirement of DoD, because we are discussing the first layer now, that is the data link layer. We also call it as a link layer. It is the lowermost layer of TCP/IP reference model. TCP/IP has 4 layers, because in the ISO there were 7 layers, and the 3 uppermost layer, application, session, and presentation, they were combined into 1 layer, application. So how if you compute it, it will be 4 layers, because 3 layers have been combined. But there is some discussion for the lowermost layer here. I hope you got the idea. 7 layers, ISO reference model. TCP/IP has 4, because 3 of the uppermost layer of ISO has been combined. Now the Department of Defense has a specific requirement that if there is any connection, if intermediate connection is broken, then still the communication should take place. So this is the requirement of Department of Defense, that is US. This has led to packet switching network, and this is based on connectionless layer. That is, if something breaks, the packet should find another way so that it reaches, the communication still take place. So there were Paul Barron, there were other people, Larry Roberts, all were involved at that time. And because of this connectionless layer, the lowest layer here, the link layer in the TCP/IP, this described what links means serial lines. It can be classic Ethernet. So link layer is only defining or describing what these lines or Ethernet should do in order to meet the concept of connectionless internet layer, right? So in all, if you say this link layer is not actually a layer, it is an interface between the host or the computer and the lower transmission links, which are the actual cables through which the data will flow. I hope you got the idea. This is also the criticism of TCP/IP, that link layer is actually not a layer. It is just an interface between host and transmission links, because it is just describing how the serial line and classic Ethernet should do what they should do in order to to conform to the concept of connectionless internet layer. Coming to the second layer, that is the internet layer. This internet layer, the work and the job of internet layer is to deliver the IP, Internet Protocol IP packets, where they are supposed to go to the destination. Now, in order to understand this, just think about an analogy with the snail or mail system. A person does what? He has, say, number of international letters he wants to send internationally. So he's just dropping all these letters into a mailbox in his country. Now, most of these letters and all of the letters, for example, from Canada, now he wants to send it to India. All these letters, all of them, or one or two may not be going to the destination, otherwise all will be delivered. So now what I'm trying to suggest here is the letter are going through various international mail gateways. You never know. Not the sender, neither the receiver. They are not aware. These letters are going through international mail gateways. And each country, that is in this case each network, they have their own say stamps, envelope size, delivery rules. This is all also hidden from the users. So this internet layer is actually defining the official packet format. Packet is nothing but the combination of bits only, along with some headers, some ancillary information to support, and protocol called IP protocol. So this IP, along with this IP, there is one more companion protocol which helps IP to function, which is called the ICMP, that is Internet Control Message Protocol. Okay, this is all about messaging. Then in the TCP IP reference model, we have the transport layer. If you see here, there are two major boxes, TCP and UDP. So transport layer allows the peer entities on the source and the destination host to carry out actual conversation. So in order to have a conversation, the two end-to-end protocols, transport protocols, have been defined in this transport layer of TCP IP reference model. Because this is all about the actual conversation between the peers, that is for transport layer or application layer. So TCP and UDP. Transmission control protocol, and there is another one which is called as UDP, that is the user datagram protocol. So what is the difference? TCP is a reliable connection oriented protocol. That is, when you are using TCP, you have to establish a proper connection. Only then the byte stream can be sent and can be received. So this one machine till another machine, there has to be a connection. That is why we are calling it reliable. Reliable because every time you are getting the acknowledgement. That is, this is the bit stream I am talking about. For example, 1011010111. So how to divide it? So that it segments the incoming byte stream into discrete messages. And then it passes this to the lower layer, which is the internet layer. So this byte stream has to be divided into discrete messages also. So this is dividing and sending, that is disassembling. But at the peer, that is different machine, same peer at destination, the receiving TCP processes, what does they do? They reassemble the receiving message into the output stream. So these two messages have been combined. This one message, the last bit has to go with another packet, right? So TCP also handles the flow control. What is swamping? Say one machine is sending faster than the other machine receiving. So the other machine will get flooded, overwhelmed. It will get swarmed. The TCP also handles the flow control. Coming to the UDP, user datagram protocol, it's just the reverse of TCP, right? Because it is unreliable. Unreliable is not a bad word here. Unreliable is only that you are not getting acknowledgements every time. See, so the UDP is connectionless protocol because the data or the messages or the packet, they are going through which path the network will configure and decide. There will be no proper connection being established and no reliability, that is, no acknowledgements will come. Because the problem in TCP is that there is some sequencing, flow control, that is the number of ACK will come. So there will be overhead, there will be unnecessary delay. Sometimes user wouldn't like this. So a user who wants a prompt delivery, the accuracy is not that important. For example, speech and video, speech, one tin sound or video, one frame or one say pixel goes, it will not matter. But you need a timely delivery. For that, we'll use UDP. In the TCP IP reference model, the topmost layer is the application layer. The TCP IP, please note that it doesn't have a session or a presentation layers. These all three layers have actually been combined. Application layer, where a user actually works. It's all about user interface and the data. how data will be presented. The application layer contains all the higher level protocols. Initially, there were some protocols, then other protocols were added. For example, initially we had Telnet, virtual terminal, file transfer protocol, FTP, and then we have electronic mail, simple mail transfer protocol. Various other protocols were added. For example, DNS, domain name system. This is for mapping the names of the host of the computer with their network addresses. That is the MAC, IP, etc. So this is DNS were added. And then we have a very popular HTTP. When Tim Berners-Lee, he created the www, World Wide Web actually, then the HTTP was introduced, and then RTP and RTCP, the protocol for delivering real-time media for voice and movies. Those who will be dealing with voice and movies, they have to learn about this RTP. So this is what the situation is.